Hello, and welcome back to Fem Life. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. 2 lucky winners get to spend 1 hour on video chat with me. Standing in front of my bedroom closet, I felt an overwhelming sense of frustration and betrayal. My entire male wardrobe was gone, all because of my roommate, Michael. I've been a crossdresser since I was a teenager. For most of my life, I struggled with my identity and feeling like I didn't fit into society's expectations of gender. It wasn't until college that I finally found the courage to fully embrace my true self and express it through my clothing. Initially, I was nervous about how Michael would react. I had only known him for a short time, and I wasn't sure if he would understand or accept me. But to my surprise, when I finally told him, he was incredibly supportive and non-judgmental. He even helped me pick out some of my favorite outfits and encouraged me to be true to myself. For the first few months of living together, everything was smooth sailing. I would dress up in my bedroom, and Michael would never bat an eye. He even started to call me by my preferred name, which meant the world to me. But then, things took a turn for the worse. One day, I came home to find my closet nearly empty. All of my male clothes were missing, and in their place were a few items of women's clothing. Confused and angry, I stormed into Michael's room, demanding an explanation. But he just laughed and said, "I thought I'd help you out by getting rid of the clothes you don't need anymore." I was shocked and hurt. How could he do this to me? Didn't he understand how important my male clothing was to me? I tried to reason with him, but he wouldn't budge. In his mind, he was doing me a favor by getting rid of anything that wasn't me. But what he didn't understand was that my male clothing was still a part of me, no matter how I chose to present myself. As I tried to figure out what to do, I realized that I had no choice but to go to class the next day wearing whatever was left in my closet. And to my horror, all that was left were a few skirts, dresses, and some lingerie. I was mortified. I couldn't imagine walking into a room full of judgmental college students in a skirt and a sports bra. It was a recipe for humiliation and embarrassment. But I had no other option. I couldn't afford to buy new clothes, and I couldn't ask Michael for help. So, I sucked up my pride and slipped on the only outfit I had left. Walking to class, I could feel the stares and whispers following me. Some people giggled, while others gave me disgusted looks. I wanted to run back to my dorm and hide, but I knew I couldn't. I couldn't let Michael win and let him see how much he had affected me. As I entered the lecture hall, I could feel my face burning with shame. I avoided eye contact with anyone and quickly took a seat in the back of the class, hoping to blend in and go unnoticed. But of course, that wasn't going to happen. As the professor began her lecture, I could see students stealing glances at me, trying to figure out why I was dressed the way I was. I wanted to shrink into my seat and disappear. As the class went on, I tried to focus on taking notes and pretending like I didn't care about their judgment. But it was hard. I could feel their stares burning into me, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being exposed and vulnerable. Finally, the class ended, and I rushed out of the room, desperate to get back to my dorm and change. I could feel the tears forming in my eyes as I walked back, replaying the humiliation in my mind. When I got back to my room, Michael was sitting at his desk, working on his computer. He looked up at me and smirked. "How was class?" he asked, clearly pleased with himself. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I burst into tears, my whole body shaking with emotion. "How could you do this to me?" I sobbed. "You know how much this means to me. You are my friend, and this is how you treat me?" Michael's expression softened, and he got up from his desk to come over to me. "I'm sorry," he said sincerely. "I didn't realize how much it meant to you. But I was just trying to help. I thought you would be happy." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could he be so clueless? "Happy?" I cried. "Do you have any idea how humiliating it was for me to go to class like that? Everyone was staring at me, and it's all your fault." Michael's face fell, and he looked genuinely remorseful. I had no idea, he said. I'll make it up to you, I promise. I'll help you get your clothes back. I wasn't sure if I could trust him again after what he had done, but I couldn't deny the relief I felt knowing that I wouldn't have to face another day of humiliation. True to his word, Michael helped me track down my clothes. As it turned out, he had donated them to a charity without even looking at what he was giving away. Thankfully, we were able to retrieve most of the items and even find a few new pieces to add to my wardrobe. From that day on, Michael and I were closer than ever. He had learned from his mistake and became a staunch supporter and ally for me. And I learned to speak up and never let anyone take away my sense of self and identity again. I walked into my next class with my head held high, wearing a new outfit that Michael and I had proudly picked out together. And as I sat down, I couldn't help but feel grateful for that humiliating experience because it brought Michael and me closer, and most importantly, I learned to never be ashamed of who I am.